Hey, have you been studying English for a long time and you still have difficulties making real English sentences, like long sentences like an American or like a native English speaker? Is it difficult? Do you feel frustrated? Well, if so, today's lesson is for you because I'm going to teach you real English sentences that you can use right now. I'm teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, so today we're going to look at 5 real English sentences that you can use right now. And our topic is business meetings. So first we need to look at one basic English sentence. Here it is. I have to attend a business meeting today. Now, this sentence seems very easy, right? You said, teacher, I know this sentence. And I know you do. But I'm going to teach you how to expand this sentence and to give more details like a native English speaker. So let's go back to my screen and let's get right to it. All right. So again, our sentence is, I have to attend a business meeting today. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 5 W's. The first one is who. So we can say, as an entrepreneur, again, remember, we're answering the who. So we're adding more information to the sentence to make it or to expand the sentence and to use it like a native English speaker. Okay, here we go. As an entrepreneur, I have to attend more business meetings than I can count today. Now you'll notice some bold words in this sentence. The first one is entrepreneur. Now, an entrepreneur is someone who runs his or her own business. So a person who actually developed their ideas and started a company, like Mark Zuckerberg was an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur because I started an English academy for you. So again, that's what an entrepreneur is. Now, for pronunciation's sake, I want you to repeat after me. Entrepreneur. You got it. You got it. One more time. Entrepreneur. Excellent job. All right. Now, there was another pattern in the sentence that I want to explain to you. So let me show it to you again really quickly. Here we go. More ... than I can count. So another way of explaining that you have a lot or that there are a lot of things or ideas, you can say more ... than I can count. So for example, I'll say Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. They each have more money than they can count. Does that make sense? Excellent. All right. So now let's move on. Now we have the who answered, but I want to show you some example sentences using the vocabulary word and also the expression. So here we go. Entrepreneur. Here's the sentence. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the most famous entrepreneurs of the 21st century. And that's true. Even you know who Mark Zuckerberg is because of Facebook, right? Okay. And again, don't worry. These sentences will all be in the PDF file. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Next, more than I can count. Now, I have more friends on Facebook than I can count. Or I have more friends than I can count on Facebook. So again, we're talking about something that seems to be very large in number. Now, you may hear a helicopter in the background, but we're going to keep going with class. So don't worry. All right. Okay. So, and if you don't hear it, don't worry. Okay. So again, more than I can count, having a lot of something. I have a lot of friends on Facebook. I can't even count them. More friends than I can count. So for you, again, always try to write a comment in the comment section. What do you have more than you can count of? Do you have more books than you can count? Do you have more shoes than you can count? Think of something that you have a lot of. Okay? All right. Now moving on to the next real sentence. All right. Now we're going to jump into answering the what. Again, part of the 5 W's. Remember the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why help you expand and make more natural sentences. Okay? All right. So here we go. I have to attend an all hands meeting, which is the most important business meeting I have today. So again, you notice that we expanded the sentence by doing what? Answering the what? Well, what kind of meeting do you have today? And I answered that. An all hands meeting. Now, let me show it to you again because you may be curious. Teacher, what is an all hands meeting? The easiest way to understand an all hands meeting is it's a meeting where everyone needs to come to. Everyone needs to join. All of the managers, all the employees need to come together for the meeting. We call that an all hands meeting in English. Okay? All right. So let's see an example sentence using that expression. We have two. Here we go. We usually have an all hands meeting on the first Thursday of every month. Now, this is true. I remember when I used to work at NASA, we'd have lots of meetings, but we mainly had meetings on the first Monday of the month. It was our all hands meeting. Everyone in our department would come together and we review what we did last month and also review the plans for the next month. An all hands meeting. You got it? Okay, now we have one more example sentence. So here we go. I missed the last all hands meeting because I had to go on a business trip. So again, you can start using this expression when you're speaking about your work environment, because I'm sure wherever you work, you also have an all hands meeting, a meeting where everyone has to come together. Okay? All right, now let's move on to the next W. Here we go. All right, our next real English sentence is answering when. Right after I knock out this email, I have to make my way to today's business meeting. Knock out. A little confusing, right? Don't you worry. I'm going to explain. All right. So knock out something. Now, this is a super useful expression. Okay. So knock out something, it's kind of slang, but it's okay to use in an environment where you're doing business, like with your coworkers. It's okay. All right. So knock out just means to complete or finish something. So let's say, for example, I am trying to write in my notebook and I have to write a lot in my notebook and I want to complete my writing. I want to complete my journal entry. I need to knock out my journal entry before I go to meet my friends. I need to finish or complete it. Make sense? All right. Now, the other one was make my way to. Let me show it to you again really quickly. Here we go. Make my way to. Now, this just means to start to go somewhere. I need to leave to go to a certain place. Start moving in a certain direction. So let's say, for example, I'm going to meet my friends at the restaurant down the street from my house. But right now, again, I'm writing in my journal. I need to knock this out so that I can go meet my friends. So I need to hurry up so that I can make my way to the restaurant. Does that make sense? Man, you're smart. Okay, good job. Now we're going to look at some example sentences. So here we go. All right, so back to my screen. Now let's see an example sentence using knock something out. All right. I need to knock out this project before I go on vacation next week. All right. So again, I need to finish. I need to complete this project. All right. And next, again, we have make one's way to. So she made her way to the front of the class after the teacher called her name. Again, going in a certain direction. So she went towards the front of the class. Make sense? All right. Again, very useful expressions, very useful words that you're learning today. All right. Okay. Now, moving on to the next one. Here we go. Now we're going to answer the where. Okay. So I have to attend a business meeting today in the room adjacent to the break room. Now, this word right here can be a little bit tricky when it comes to pronunciation. So let me show it to you one more time. Adjacent. Here we go. Adjacent. Now, some people say adjacent. Both are okay, all right? But we're going to learn adjacent, okay? So adjacent just means next to or connected to, all right? The room next to or the room adjacent to this room, connected or right next to, all right? And the other one is break room. Now, I think I'll show it to you real quick. Break room. I think you kind of understand what break room means, but it literally is the area in an office building, where people go to relax. They have snacks there. They can make coffee or tea, or they put their lunches inside of the refrigerator. it's the place where you go to actually not work, when you need a break from work. Okay, we say break room. So again, the sentence, this one answers the where. I have to attend a business meeting today in the break room adjacent to the break room. Excuse me, in the room adjacent to the break room. I think I added a word there, but it's all good. All right, so let's see some examples. Here we go. Adjacent. They took a boat trip and toured the southern coastline and adjacent islands. So they went along the coastline and they also went to the islands that were adjacent or next to or connected to the place where they were visiting. That makes sense? All right, now the next one is using break room. Here we go. We usually eat lunch together in the break room whenever we have a long meeting. Makes sense, right? Again, these are all words and expressions that you can start using today. And you can have these new sentences and the structures, you can use them starting today. All right. So now let's go on to the next one. Now we want to answer the why. Okay. So again, the original sentence was, I have to attend a business meeting today. Well, why do you have to attend a business meeting today? I'm glad you asked. Let me answer that. All right. So here we go. Here we go. I have to attend a business meeting today because my boss blew a fuse after he heard that our project flopped. Now, blew a fuse? So this is an expression, kind of an idiom that we use to explain someone who is extremely upset. They get angry. We say they blew a fuse. So again, right now, I'm very calm, even smiling, talking to you. But let's say I suddenly get angry. I told you not to do that. And then suddenly my blood starts to rise and I scream loudly. Don't worry, I'm not going to scream at you. But I suddenly get angry. I'm blowing a fuse to get angry all of a sudden. Okay. So this person's boss blew a fuse. Okay. Now the next one is at the bottom, flopped. What does that mean? Flopped just means failed. Didn't work, didn't turn out the way that they thought it would. So we say flopped in English. So you know what? For pronunciation's sake, after me, flopped. Very good. Front teeth, bottom lip, flopped. Excellent job. Okay. So let's see some example sentences. Here we go. All right. First, blow a fuse. When he learned that his only daughter had eloped, he blew a fuse. Oh, eloped just means to get married, usually at the courthouse, not letting anyone know. You just elope without an actual wedding. You just go to the courthouse and get a paper signed saying that you're married. We say that's eloping in English. Okay? All right. And last, flopped. Here's the sentence. That drama flopped after the main actor decided to cancel his contract earlier this year. So before that actor quit, man, that drama was doing really good. But then suddenly he decided to leave and the drama just failed. It didn't do well. So we say the drama flopped. Okay? Makes sense? All right. Now, hopefully you understood those expressions. Now, we learned 5 new real English sentences. And again, remember, you can look at the PDF that has all of these sentences so you can actually practice. Now, if you really want to take your English to the next level, you want to go on to part 2, where I give you an action plan for using these words and expressions in real life. Now, the action plan and that part 2 of the lesson is all in the Academy. So if you're an Academy student, don't worry. Click the link right in the description that says part 2 and you can watch it right now. If you're not in the Academy, don't worry. You can join right now. Go ahead. You can join the Academy and you can watch part 2 and start improving your English. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I enjoyed preparing it for you, and I also enjoyed teaching it to you. I'll see you next week, but as always, remember to speak English. You ready? It's story time. Okay. I think that you guys look forward to story time now more than the English lesson, but it's okay. I look forward to it too. All right. For today, I'm going to tell you a story about an experience I had when I was living in South Korea. So when I was in South Korea, again, as an English teacher, as a missionary, I really enjoyed my time there. And I had this habit of trying to help people whenever I saw someone in need. Now, I think you guys can kind of tell that about me. I love helping people. But one of the things I really like to do is to help homeless people. Homeless people are those who unfortunately live on the streets or they don't have a home to go to. So we say they're homeless. And one day I was walking, I was at a train station / mall. For those that are Korean, Yongsan Station, Yongsan-yeok. And I was walking around and a homeless lady I could see her out the corner of my eye. And I could tell that she was hungry. I could tell that she hadn't had a shower in many days. And, again, there are homeless people in every country, including America. So it wasn't something shocking to me, but I felt the need to help her. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give this lady some money. Now, she asked me for money. I'm sorry. She asked me for money and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy her some food because I didn't know if she was going to buy alcohol or not. And I wanted to feed her, but I didn't want her to use the money in the wrong way. So anyways, actually, she approached me. I've met a lot of homeless people, and this lady actually approached me and said, could I give her some money? And I said, you know what? I won't give you money, but I can definitely buy you whatever you want to eat. And I had no problem spending money on her. And again, this conversation was happening in Korean. And she looked at me and she said something that shocked me. I felt like, hey, I can help this lady. I felt good. I wanted to help her have a good day. And she said, thank you. But do you mind eating with me? It caught me off guard. Now, again, I want you to think about this. This lady, again, I could tell she hadn't taken a shower in days. She didn't smell the best. She didn't look the best. You could tell she was homeless. And she said, would you mind eating with me? And again, I paused for a few seconds and I thought to myself, it's really easy to buy something for someone. It's really easy to give them money. It's not that easy to sit down with them and talk to them. And, people are going to look at me and I said, you know what? Yes, I can. So for the next 35 to 40 minutes, this lady and I sat down together at a restaurant. And again, I'm sure people were looking at us because, again, you could tell she was homeless. And we sat in the restaurant. And I was very curious. I said, you know what? We're sitting here eating. Let's have a conversation. So I asked her, I said, can I ask you a question? She said, sure. What happened? Like, how did you get in the situation? Like, how can I help? She proceeded to tell me, she said, you know what? People look at me and they kind of look down on me sometimes because they think that I'm lazy. They think that, oh, why doesn't she have a job? She should have a job. She told me that she had an amazing job just 2 years before. She was making amazing money. She had a great apartment, good family. And just like that, it was taken away. She lost her job, so she couldn't keep her apartment. Her family life just messed up completely. Didn't have her family anymore, husband, kids, nobody. And that's why she was in the situation that she was in. And as we were talking, I realized there are so many people just like her on the streets right now in America, in Korea, in Japan, whatever country that you're currently living in. There are so many people just like her who were quote unquote normal. They had a job and everything and lived in a nice place, but something happened and their situation changed and they're longing to have a connection with someone. So I really enjoyed our conversation. We separated. I think I gave her a little bit of extra money to help her, but even though I went to help her, she actually helped me that day. She helped me to realize that people that are homeless, they were just like you and I at one time. They had a job, they had a family, they were doing okay. And sometimes life's difficulties can take you to places you never thought you would be in. So today's message is, let's care about people that we see. When you see a homeless person, let's not think that, oh, maybe they're lazy. Instead, let's see how we can help them and do something to make their day better. And maybe even sit and have a meal with them because you never know what the conversation will be. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story time. I will talk to you next week. But as always, remember to speak English. I'll see you later.